Hey, Shalom Akyam. See if I can hear this. Nice. Nice. We'll look that up. Let Akyam join in. Get it in today, man. Today is gonna be a very, very interactive live show, bro. So I'm gonna be, Lord willing, checking the comment boards as frequently as possible, man. This is one where, Lord willing, man, all the Akyam, all y'all brothers, man, that have points of views and want to add something in, please chime in on the comment board. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I was talking with the brother Wakwari Kwam. He gave me the idea for the name for the name of this live show, The Beginning of Chaos, because I called the brother just to kind of go over things. I like to hit him up whenever I have these ideas, and he hits me up as well. But as we were kind of just talking about some of the things that were going on through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, it came down to the conclusion in his spirit. He's like, it's just chaos, man. We're heading into a time, an unprecedented time in the history of the world, and it's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to be amongst you, Akyam, and it's beautiful to have this knowledge, have this wisdom and understanding through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. We have the ultimate armor and weaponry to go into these times, and I'm just thankful that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua has brought me into this truth, and I'm thankful to have brothers and sisters as well here that are prepared to glorify Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua in these times, man. Lord willing, we're going to touch on a few things today. I want to start with some of the things that are going on in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. But if you, Akyam, can look at the comment board, you'll see that the brother Wakwari Kwam, GMS Fear the Most High, he put in chaos. It says now it says complete disorder and confusion. Okay, and that's what we're headed into, man. We're headed into a time of complete disorder and confusion, and it is because the Most High is casting out judgment on this place. Okay, he's casting out judgment on this place because of all the wickedness that's going on, man. We have the so-called white man who is the Edomite in the Bible, the Hebrew Edomite in the Bible. He's been ruling the world, and he's been ruling the world in wickedness, and as a result, we have a world that's full of chaos. So that's going to lead me to start with this scripture, Isaiah 24:3, and I'm going to read down. It says, the land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled, for the Lord hath spoken his word. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. That means the people that's living on the planet is defiling the earth with the certain the rules and code of conduct and the decadence out of the west, the kingdom of you Edomites, this Babylonian Babylon the great kingdom. The earth is defiled, man. The inhabitants of the earth are defiling the planet. It says, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. And literally the inhabitants of the earth are going to be burned through thermonuclear destruction. But now, when we look around the world, the earth is burning because of a hole in the ozone layer and how defiled the earth is. There's no protection. You got the people over in Greece literally had to jump into the sea to get away from the flames and the fires that are consuming Athens, which is to me symbolic, because we know Greece is considered the beginning of the civilization for you so-called white people, and Athens is where you have the mother of democracy come out of Athens, and it's beautiful that it's on fire right now, okay, in these times, okay. Verse 7 says, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, and all the merry-hearted do sigh. And literally we see this happen. I want to pull up a few things touch on a few things. First, I want to touch on the scriptures talking about the new wine mourneth. Check this out.
7-year-old bottle of California wine might give you a bit more kick than you expected. French wine experts say some California.
It's funny to them, might give you a little bit more kick than you expected. You know, DJ Yuck Yuck up here on the news.
Wines produced after 2011 have twice as much radioactive cesium than older vintages. Is that why I get a headache? Oh, 2011 was when Japan's failed Fukushima nuclear plant.
It's funny. You see how this is funny to the so-called white man? It's funny to the so-called white man that the wine is filled with radioactive, particles and elements, things that will give you cancer. It's funny to him. And is that why it gives me a headache? These people got to be taken out of the seat of rulership.
Plants and a radioactive cloud of cesium-137 across the Pacific. Cesium is a byproduct of uranium nuclear fission. The good news is the levels are too low to be a concern. So when you
and how do you know? How do you know that the levels are too low to be of any concern? You see how they just make up BS? The Edomites, man. These Edomites totally have some nerve. Salak Yakim, I gotta move around a little bit. We got to take these people out of the power seat. So, we're reading here in the book of Isaiah where it talks about how the new wine mourneth and the vine languisheth. That's just one example of, brothers can probably find a million current examples, not ancient examples, current examples of how the earth is in complete mourning and it's destroyed, man, from the animals to the plants, okay, to the soil, to the water, all these things. All right. So I'm going to get one more. Now, this right here it says the horrendous aftermath of wildfires in Greece. Okay, I'm going to play a few clips on this, but look, this ain't no normal wildfire, bro. It looks literally like a bomb landed in Athens, Greece, man. Check this out. Look at that, man. Look at that, bro. Some crazy shit. This right here is from wildfires, man. And hey, man, we over here in Texas. It is ridiculously hot, man. Like on another level of hot, bro. Every single day it's been 105, 106, 108. There was a day where it was 111 degrees Fahrenheit. I was talking to the brother Required Quam. He said, over there in England, it rains. It's a rainy country. He said he don't remember the last time it rained. Salakia, I can't have somebody call him. He said he don't remember the last time it rained, man. It's just, as he said in England, it's just dry as hell. It's just been hot over there. They've been having record heat waves. And this thing that's right here in Greece is just one area, man. It's reported that these wildfires are happening all across the world right now, in different places. Okay? So the Most High is making moves. I'm going to read this on the comment board. It says, this is a GMS, fear of the Most High 7, Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. It says Jeremiah chapter 21, verse 25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroy all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks. That's right. And will make thee a burnt mountain. And when it comes down to the come down in this place, we know that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is planning on absolutely obliterating this place. He's going to put it into the minds of these people to go into World War III. And Lord willing, we're going to touch on that too. I just wanted to kind of touch on some overarching things on how chaos literally is consuming the nation, man. Chaos is consuming the world. I mean, not the nation, but the world. Can y'all brothers hear me clearly? Let me know, man. There's a lot of little noises here. Y'all, let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. on the comment board. Make sure that we on point here. Okay, I'm gonna keep it moving then. I'm gonna keep it moving. All right. I wanted to touch on that, show this. And then I had something else. Here it is.
Let's talk now to Yorgos Kokkolis, the Deputy Mayor of Pikami, which is very close to the resort of Mati. Thank you for joining us on Euronews today. How bad is the damage?
Well, the damage is very serious in the city of Rafina. Actually, it's the first time we witnessed an urban fire. It became as a forest fire, and then it became an urban fire. The shock is great for the residents of the city, because 50% of the people who lived in the areas affected was their permanent residents. Since yesterday, we managed to evacuate 700 people from the coast. It was our little Dunkirk, if you want, through the Port Authority and by privately.
So that's just some of the chaos that's going on across the planet Earth, man. You know, now on another end of the spectrum, not only do we have these issues going on, wildfires, and the issues going on with radioactive wine, you know what I'm saying? You know, we got issues. And the brother just sent me something. Let me see. Oh yeah, he's showing me how it's going on in Britain too. Let me pull that up. Let me show y'all something, man. Let's see if it'll pull up in my history. Check this out, Akia. Check this out.
Temperatures ravage much of Europe and the world. The consequences of the hot weather are starting to show their effects. Now, in Japan, record high temperatures have seen dozens of deaths as thermometers have been 12 degrees hotter than the seasonal average. Disaster management agencies are urging people to stay
12 degrees hotter than the seasonal average. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Anybody that does statistics and knows about statistics and charting knows that that is absolutely insane, man. This is being done by the Heavenly Father. This is spiritual. You know, this word that's going out is like heat, and the Most High literally is turning the heat up on this place, man. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, man.
Stay inside as people pour water over pavements in an attempt to cool the streets. And in the UK, formerly green fields have turned to beige as there has been no rain in some places for 54 consecutive days. The country, internationally famed for its rainfall and inconsistent summers, heated up to 33 degrees this week, and temperatures are predicted to rise. Parts of the country have introduced a ban on hose pipe use amid
Look at the Edomite smoking a cigarette as hot as hell, dumbass.
Britain's longest heat wave in 42 years. And in Sweden, the hottest summer for 260 years has seen over 25,000 hectares worth of wildfires burn across the country. That's including in the normally mild Arctic Circle. Swedish authorities have called in help from across Europe, with Norway and Italy sending firefighting teams to tackle the blaze amid the longest drought in 74 years.
Longest drought in 74 years in Sweden, bro. This is Sweden. So we got Greece, Sweden, the UK. We all know about what's going on in America, you know?
Well, temperatures are reaching record highs across the planet, from Japan to Sweden, as we just told you, and the effects being felt in the form of wildfires, droughts, and much more. Well, joining us to get a handle on the climate science behind all this is senior scientist Freya Vamberg from the European Union's Earth Observation Program. Copernicus, Freya, thank you for joining.
She about to lie like a motherfucker. She don't know what the fuck is going on. Let's see.
Joining us, we just saw there a lot of record numbers across Europe and around the world. How do these fit into the bigger picture of climate change? How do we discuss this, put it in context?
Well, first of all, as I'm sure you've heard many times before, just having one event, you can't link that straight away to climate change without doing further analysis. And since these events are ongoing, this analysis is still outstanding. It will have to be done post-event.
You know when white people lying, bro. They start gulping hella hard. You see her gulp? This shit went all the way up to her earlobe.
And even post-event, we might not be able to say clearly whether this is related to climate change or not. And what we do expect, of course, is with climate change for these kind of heat wave events to become to be something that we'll see more often. With droughts and fires, it's a little bit more complex because there you also have the rainfall playing into the picture. And with rainfall, if we look at Europe, for instance,
she don't have any idea, man. I ain't finna sit up and listen to this Edomite, man. She don't know what the hell she's talking about. Look, Yahweh Shem Shai's got the heat turned up on this place. It's just like the brother said, man. He said climate change, kingdom change. That's what's finna happen, man. GMS Milk put Joel 1:19. O Lord, to thee will I cry, for the fire have devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flame have burned all the trees of the field. The brother put Ezekiel 12:22. Son of man, what is the proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth? And every vision faileth. It says, tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, man, I'm sorry, man, I'm getting a phone call. Getting a phone call right now. Salaki Akian. Let me see. Boom. It says, thus saith the Lord God, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel. Man, hold on just one second. Hey, what's going on, my man? Hey. Yeah, I'm on a call. All right, I'll get you right back. All right, peace. They're calling me about my money. No, Salaki Akim. Let me get back to it. I was reading Ezekiel 12:23. Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision, man. And basically, that's one of my favorite scriptures when you read there in the book of Ezekiel 12:22-24. And it basically proclaims that, hey, look, Yahweh Shem Shai is getting ready to bring all these different calamities on the planet Earth that he promised, man. And we're seeing it play out socially, environmentally, politically, economically, and we're going to see it on the front of as far as these nations against themselves militarily here soon. And I want to touch in on that right now, okay? When you look here, brothers have been posting this all day, and we've been seeing it starting from last night. When you look at the state of Israel over the course of the last, I would say, 4 months, it's been seemingly quiet, but the whole time the state of Israel has been pushing forward with their agenda. They've been coming whatever type of propaganda that they could to justify themselves going into what's called the Golan Heights region. I'm gonna play this clip, and Lord willing, touch in on that.
The Israeli military shooting down a Syrian jet infiltrating its airspace. The IDF.
Boom. Now you look here. It's got a map of, we got Syria. Here's Damascus. Here's Lebanon. Okay. Lebanon. Okay. Here's that Golan Heights region. This is a key region. There's tons of oil pipelines and things that they want to run through here. Okay. You got a state. You got what's called the West Bank and the state of Israel here, where you have the Palestinians living here with Hamas, and then you got Hezbollah ruling things in Lebanon. This right here is a powder keg where you got President Bashar al-Assad running Syria and parts of Syria. Hezbollah running Lebanon, Hamas in this area of Palestine surrounding Israel, and then you got your boy Benjamin Netanyahu, who's the prime minister of the state of Israel. Currently, this area right here is being under fire. Anytime Syria comes within this area, or any of these Lebanese coming in this area, there's fire attacks. Okay, because there's all types of propaganda and proxy wars going on right here in this area. Okay. It's a key place.
Intercepting the fighter jet after it allegedly flew through the Golan Heights, which is near the border with Syria. The Israeli military firing 2 Patriot missiles to bring it down. This is the first time that Israel has shot down a Syrian jet in 4 years.
What we're looking for, man, is return fire, man. It's getting to where these heathen nations round about are not going to allow these Edomites to continue their aggression. What we're seeing from the other side is more and more these heathen nations, these Arabs, the sons of Ishmael and also the sons of Elam, are more and more being like, man, we tired of this BS, man. We sick of it. And they're going to get to where they're going to start shooting down Israeli planes. And we always like to bring out the scripture in Isaiah, the 49th chapter and the 20th verse. It says, therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Edom and his purposes that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. And these are the Edomites over here that are the least of the flock, man. All right. The Amalekites down there in our lands that are inhabiting our lands right now, everybody else is talking about peace talks and making trade deals and trying to figure out. Meanwhile, this Israeli state, they're relentless. They haven't stopped one iota. They've been bombing and bombing and bombing, and they ain't going to stop. Why? Because the Most High's put the spirit on them to continue fighting, okay? And we know that these Ishmaelites roundabout, they're wild men, as the scriptures say. Prophecy says, when you read here in the book of Genesis, the 16th chapter, in the 11th verse, it says, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, all right, behold, thou art with child. Talking about Hagar, okay, which was the maidservant to Sarah and Abraham. All right, it says, thou art with child, and thou shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction, and he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of his brethren. And we see that even unto this day, down there in this land, how Ishmael is dwelling in all these lands. When you want to talk about Iraq, when you want to talk about Saudi Arabia, when you talk about Palestine, when you talk about Lebanon, and mixed in here in Syria and Jordan, and his hand is against every man, and his hand against everybody else. It's just playing itself out. The prophecy is playing itself out. So anytime that we see all these different things going on in the world, all you got to do is look back to the prophecy, and we know what's going to be placed into the hearts of men. That prophecy is going to be placed into the hearts of men. It's going to be pushed in that direction. And what I wanted to do, just for the sake of information, y'all know how I get down, I wanted to touch on the difference between Hamas and Hezbollah, just so you brothers can understand how integrated, when one person is affected, there's a ripple effect. It's not just an effect on one small group. It's a ripple effect on all these nations round about, okay? So let me check. I'm going to play this real quick, okay?
Hamas means Islamic Resistance Movement. Hezbollah means Army of Allah. Hamas is Palestine-based. Hezbollah is Lebanon-based.
All right, so it says Hamas is Palestine-based. I'd like for brothers to look at maps. This is for the young brothers, man. All right, so, you know, let me get it right. It says Hamas is Palestine-based. Hezbollah is Lebanon-based. When you look at this, okay, this is Lebanon. So this is where you hear about Hezbollah. They call it Hezbollah terrorist group. It's this land right here. See how close it is around Syria? And this is Jordan right here in Israel. They all up on each other, okay? Hamas is down here. The Palestinians live here, all along the West Bank, all in these areas, okay? All up in here, okay? In and around Jerusalem, you have these Palestinians that are with Hamas, okay?
Hamas is a Sunni organization. Hezbollah is a Shia organization.
And they use this Sunni Shiite, but you see how the so-called white man can use these for people to fight against each other. Meanwhile, he fighting against all of them. He don't care if he's Sunni or Shiite. Those are just separations. Okay? So we're gonna talk about that. Hamas is Sunni, Hezbollah is Shia. That's why Hezbollah gets along with Iran. Okay? As long and as well as with Bashar al-Assad, because he's a form of Shiite Muslim called Alawat. Okay, now check this out.
Hamas is more anti-America than Hezbollah is. Hamas has control only over Palestine. Hezbollah has representatives both in Syria and Lebanese government.
So Hezbollah is like an elected government that was set up over in Lebanon, and they have representatives that sit, you know, amongst Syrian council too. All right. Now this is interesting right here.
Hamas collects funds mainly from Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Syria. Hezbollah gets funds from Iran, Syria, and Venezuela.
Boom. Now, check that out. Now, you see where all these different funds are coming from. Hamas having ties with Saudi Arabia, Iran, Syria. But Hezbollah, they get weapons from Iran, training in Syria, and then oil and gas out of Venezuela. Okay? So all of these different nations are affected by these different ties, okay? Remember, Hamas, just for the sake to teach the brothers, Hamas is Palestinian. Hezbollah is the Lebanon. And then you see how close they are to Damascus. That's why you'll see a lot of transports that'll happen in between the airports that's in Lebanon and Syria will get attacked by Israel. They'll bomb those airports in and around Damascus, saying that Iran, which is over here, is supplying weapons to Hezbollah. Okay? So they're all together, man. So you attack one, you're attacking all these dudes, man. And more, the rhetoric is coming out that we're tired of the BS, that we're not going to allow the state of Israel to continue to just bomb us ridiculously, indiscriminately over, oh, there was a firecracker that came on the side of our border. We got to bomb them. We're under attack. The state of Israel must be able to protect itself. That line is getting more and more like annoying, you know? And so we're starting to see these nations prepare their armies. Okay? They're preparing their armies. I'm gonna finish this up.
Hamas concentrates on Palestine. Hezbollah concentrates on Syria and Lebanon. Hezbollah has more military hardware than Hamas.
Okay? Hezbollah has more tanks, anti-aircraft missiles. They can attack if they wanted to. They could attack Tel Aviv. Hezbollah could with missiles. If they wanted to, they could have an army on the ground that could roll up into Israel with tanks and stuff. Now, it wouldn't be smart for them to do that by themselves, but they do have the capability to do some of those things, okay? So this is just a brief film. It don't give you everything. That's why you see all these thumbs down, because people always think they're the smartest person in the room. But it does give you an overall kind of like generalized concept of what's going on with Hamas and Hezbollah. These different bodies, along with the other Ishmaelites, are going to be stirred up, man. They're going to be stirred up. Now, in the news recently, we read about how Trump was talking big cash money against Iran, all right, who is a supporter of Hezbollah. Iran is a supporter of Hezbollah, and Iran is a supporter of Hamas. They are a supporter of those Arab nations, okay, so-called nations.
You've got to give the president a tip of the cap. He's certainly capped.
My man Trump. Look at him. Look at my man Trump, Dad.
Capitalized on using all caps to get attention.
Shouting in all caps Iran tweet.
Just did a whole thing in caps.
All caps?
He shouldn't have done it all caps because that means you're yelling at the person, right?
Right, yelling at Iran's president. Let's have a recap of what he said in all caps.
Never, ever threaten the United States again, or you will suffer consequences
The likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before.
Turns out the president's all caps rant is contagious.
Sorry, I wasn't
Imitators address their tirades to the cat. Never ever threaten the house plant again, or you will suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. To their co-worker, never ever microwave fish in the break room again, or you will suffer consequences. Never ever stay at home on an election day again, or you will.
Hey, man, you see how Esau always try to make something funny, man? It ain't gonna be funny when missiles is flying over your head, man. It's not gonna be a joke when stuff start really going down, man. These nations are sick of this BS, man. Esau do this on the highways and byways when he's uncomfortable. Try to make a joke out of nowhere. It ain't funny. Hey, Iran ain't playing. You know how we know that Iran ain't playing? Because the prophecy said that they ain't playing. Okay? Now, when we read this article here, it was written today, July 24th. It says, Iran shoots back at Trump. Color us unimpressed. Iran has shot back at the U.S. President Donald Trump, dismissing his all-caps Twitter warning that the country should suffer consequences if it continued to threaten the U.S., saying it was unimpressed by the late-night tweet. Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif tweeted Monday night, imploring Trump's pen chat to use all-cap letters in his tweets. He said, "The world heard even harsher bluster a few months ago, and Iranians have heard them, albeit more civilized ones, for 40 years. We've been around for millennia and seen fall of empires, including our own, which lasted more than the life of some countries. Be cautious." You see? It says, Zarif's online comments are the latest in the escalating war of words between Washington and Tehran. The tweet comes less than a day after Trump posted a furious Twitter warning to the Iranian President Hassan Rouhani. Let's see. Iran expert, that's the point on that. I just wanted to bring that point that Iran ain't playing, man. You brothers can go pull this article up if you want to read more. But hey, it just shows you, man, you know, these guys ain't playing around. I'm going to read this in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 29. I'm going to start up. Verse 26 says, "For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. And now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For the Most High shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth. And all they which hear them may fear and tremble." All right, they're gonna be carried as the wind upon the earth, man. You're gonna be seeing jets and helicopters and drones and tanks, Humvees, okay? All in this area here, man. All in this area right here, bro. You got Egypt sitting here, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Turkey. All these nations are right here, bro. Okay? So we got to keep pushing. Just like the brother, the elder Yashawamba just placed on the comment board. He said, "Brothers, don't let those lazy demons keep you from praying. They will do it. We need action. We got to push, keep pushing to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Get on the angels and the Heavenly Father nerves to send the spirit on this place to redeem us, man. This chaos is not our fear. This is fear for the world. We've been called out of the world, man. So it's not a fearful thing for us, man. We see all these things happening and we rejoice, because what does that mean? That means, hey, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is getting ready to bring that holy host back. That's what we fighting for, man. We fighting for the end of this thing, man. So when we see these things, man, we should pray, hey, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, keep it in the minds of these heathen to fight each other, to go into the World War III, to bring forth the algorithm that you proclaimed. Okay? Push. All right? This is why these things are happening. These things are directly connected to the raising up of the ministry. Okay? The heat waves, the blood moons, all these things. You got to know that. Okay? You got to know that. All right? Going back to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter and the 30th verse, it says, "Also, the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as wild boars of the wood." Now, we always break down that Carmanians, how that was a province in Persia. The Iranians, they're going forth raging in wrath as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come to join battle with them. So they're going to join battle with the dragons of Arabia. All right, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. Okay, they're going to remember their nature. The dragons of Arabia, we read about that nature of them being a wild man, their hand against everybody else, ready for war, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. All right, let's go. And that's what we see, man. We see this thing building up. I'm going to read a scripture on the comment board. GMS Soldier for Yahweh, Yahweh Shah, Shalom, Tazamah. Water, Joel 3:1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Who's Judah and Jerusalem? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. But, you know, chiefly you top tribes, man. All right? The tribes of Judah is the top 3 tribes, but the Most High is going to gather everybody, okay? It says, and I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, okay? So, hey, the Most High is going to plead for us by causing these nations to come and destroy themselves amongst themselves in World War III, all in this region, man. This is what we're seeing, the beginning of chaos, man. The beginning of absolute and utter chaos is happening. And we haven't even mentioned what's going on with NATO, you know? We hadn't even mentioned that, okay? What's going on with NATO and Germany, and basically how things that are going on within the beast system itself and that economic bloc, they got turmoil happening amongst themselves. They're supposed to be allies, but the Most High has made a conspiracy amongst all these people that are supposed to be together for them to fight, you know? We ain't even touched on that yet, okay? You know what? Matter of fact, since I said it, let's get it. I'm gonna play this clip.
Say horror.
And y'all brothers, you know, y'all can pull them scriptures up. Obadiah, okay? How the horns shall hate the whore. Y'all can pull those scriptures up if you don't mind, Baba Kushai, and post it onto the comment board, okay?
Horrible thing that you have a pipeline coming from Russia, and I believe that Germany is going to be getting 50, 60, or even I've heard numbers of 70% of their energy coming in from Russia.
Now, watch this. Take this. I'm going to whop. And then I'm going to say, search Google. And then I'm going to go, look at that. Splick a splow. See, they can pull up. Look. So basically, when you look here, this is this Nord Stream 2 pipeline. This is something that's going on in the background. This is why the state of Israel needs to take over the Golan Heights region. It's because if Russia is able to complete, which this is supposed to be completed early next year, that's why you see so much propaganda going on right now, because they need this to be stopped. They tried to sanction Russian companies and anybody dealing with these Russian companies to slow down the money that they needed to complete this pipeline deal. But it didn't work because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua wanted it to work. And so basically, the U.S. has got all these nations underneath their thumb. Poland, Lithuania, right here it says Russia. That's that Crimea area they're right talking about. Estonia, Latvia, Belarus. So they're able to keep Russia from getting natural gas to Germany, which is the #1 buyer in Europe, by blocking Russia from getting the natural gas through these nations to Germany. Does that make sense what I'm saying, Akian? Originally, Russia had to get through these nations in order to get gas to Germany. But this Nord Stream 2 is going to allow them to pump even more natural gas directly to Germany without having any interference from any of these other nations, okay? Because they already had one pipeline, but they needed more. So because Germany needs more energy, okay? And energy really is how you rule the world, controlling how quickly you're able to move goods and build. You need energy to move goods and build, okay? Russia is supplying Germany with energy. By disrupting this, the U.S. can say, hey, come buy our stuff. Or the state of Israel will be like, yo, you got to get it from this area. That's control. That's power, okay? So this is making nations fight, okay? Let's keep going.
And how can you be working for peace and working from strength when somebody has that kind of power over your country? I don't think it's good. You're not working from strength. You've given up all of your strength. I think it's very bad for Germany, very bad for the German people.
The pipeline will be about 1,200 kilometers long. It's a multi-billion-euro venture between Russia and 5 international companies. It runs next to the original Nord Stream pipeline and will double the amount of gas being transferred.
Double the amount of gas being transferred, man.
Nord Stream 2 is set to be fully operational by next year. Economist Ike Harmer says the project is the best way for Germany to meet its growing demand for natural gas.
This is a matter of a great opportunity for Germany to have another infrastructure that supplies us with natural gas, which is dearly needed in Germany, without being able to be blackmailed by the countries in between.
Without having to be blackmailed by the countries in between. You see how he said that? He said this is allowed for Germany to get energy without having to be blackmailed by the countries in between. And when he makes a statement like that, he's talking about the relationship that these nations have with the West and the US that basically hold energy hostage for Germany. It forces Germany to comply with certain policies and legislation that normally they wouldn't agree with, but they need the energy, so they have to agree. They're being blackmailed. Okay, they're being forced. And this is the spirit of the Most High making this happen. Okay, check this out. GMS Soldier for Yahweh Shah on a comment board put Revelation 17:17. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And we're coming to that conclusion, man. All right, so that's why he's saying for us, so we can't be blackmailed no more. I don't want to be blackmailed no more. Okay, so they got this Nord Stream 2 to get around all that madness, man. All right, hey, GMS Sharmaf, Jeremiah 30:24, the fierce anger of the Lord shall not return until he have done it, and until he have performed the intents of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it. And we're seeing the intents of his heart, man. And we're proclaiming out there on the highways and the byways and in these videos that all the Akim are pushing, the intents of the heart, okay? The intents of the heart of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, okay? It's crazy, man. I got all these people calling me, man, Satan, boy. So let me go back. I want to finish this. Let me get it right. Oh, yeah, that's also I want to mention because brothers get confused about, okay, why did Trump sit down with Putin? And Trump said, you know, I like Putin. Da, 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 da. Look, man, white people always be doing that, bro. White people will sit down with you, buy you a 4-course meal, get you some wine, tell you how much they love you, laugh at every single joke that you bring out. And meanwhile, he's completely devising your downfall in your face. White people do that all the time, dog. White people will sit down with their enemy and yuck. Don't let these different councils and conferences and meetings and so-called peace summits, don't let that confuse you on what the prophecies say. Just like the brother had posted in Jeremiah 30, the Most High is going to perform the intents of his heart. He's going to force and put it into the minds of men to do his will. So don't get it twisted. Don't let nothing, peace talks, just like you had the situation over there in Palestine where Israel basically was bombing the hell out of Palestine and Hamas. And then 3 or 4 days later, there was basically they had peace talks. I mean, they do that all the time. They do that all the time. There ain't going to be no peace with these people. It would have already happened, okay? Let me finish this, and then I got one more thing that I want to pull up.
Countries in between. Every American foreign policy is under the duty that they have to hint a closer relationship between Russia and Germany. But the US is not in the position anymore to make big aims because...
Y'all hear that? It said that the US is not in the position anymore. So the Most High has allowed America to fulfill its will, man. Now we're seeing that he done built America up on this big plateau. He's getting ready to decapitate it, and it's being announced, man. It's being announced. I'm gonna play it again.
Position anymore to make in Germany. But the US is not in the position anymore to make big aims, because Germany now, after the sanctions and after the not so polite behavior of America against Germany, we have to look for better opportunities or other opportunities. And therefore, it is no possibility at all anymore to separate Germany or Europe from Russia. Anyway, he just
now, and if you brothers have been watching the World War III algorithms, the geopolitical alliance section of the World War III algorithms, you would know that we talked about the relationship that Germany had with Russia, also France, and how these two nations, which are part of that beast 10-horn system, those two nations have always been on edge, man. Have always been teeter-tottering, and how when you read the prophecy, it makes sense for them to switch to the other side, and we're starting to see that bear fruit. Okay, I wanted to get this. Yara, Obadiah 1:7. Put all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is no understanding in him. You see? And that's what we're seeing, man. We're seeing America get cut off on every side. And they're not going to, especially the people walking around in America, they're not going to understand the devastation that comes to this place, because everybody's going to team up on a big bad bully. All right? And these so-called white people, they don't see themselves as part of the problem. They see themselves as just individuals in life. But they judge everybody else as a nation and as a group. But they judge themselves as just individuals. I'm my own God. But the Most High is going to lump all you Edomites together and burn your nation. And we're going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua when it happens. Because he said so. We want what he said to go down. Okay? Conference in Germany are the strong toes. Yeah, they're part of the whole thing, man. They're a part of the whole thing, man. GMS, the spirit of prophecy, put Matthew 12:26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And it's not going to stand, man. His kingdom is going to fall. And that's why we see them attacking each other, coming against each other, and it's not going to work, man. All holy hell is coming to the planet Earth. Chaos, complete chaos and confusion is being brought to the forefront, okay, for the earth. And it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Okay. I want to go back here in Isaiah chapter 24, and I wanted to get down to the point of where I wanted to get. Isaiah 24:10 says, the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. All right. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened, and mirth of the land is gone. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. And that's what we're seeing, being prepared, not just for Syria, not just for Iraq, not just for places in Palestine and Lebanon. This desolation is being prepared for the daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great, the whore that rideth upon the beast, man, America. This place is going to be touched. And when it gets touched, it's going to be absolutely devastating, okay? There was one more I wanted to pull up. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, my man. Here he is. Pull this back. We've been talking about this blood moon now. Along with everything that's going on, brothers have mentioned it earlier, how basically Russia there's been darkness over Russia for the last, for the last day. How long has it been, Akiam? Darkness just covering over Russia. And it's interesting, man, that basically you have the World Cup. It was over there in Moscow, and you got this blood moon coming, and basically everybody's the judgment's getting ready to touch the whole planet Earth, man. And we see the signs. And even Paul Begley, even though he's on the wrong side of things, he sees the sign. 3 hours. Was it 3 days or 3 hours? One of them. You know, look, we see in the signs in heaven, man. We know that the Most High is getting ready to do something. Everybody's going crazy, man.
Ferociously now, in what looks like we have bombs falling everywhere. Israel attacking Gaza ferociously now, in what looks like discussion is already out. Could this be leading to a fourth Gaza war? But first, I want to break in here just before I go any further. We want to remind you again, for 10 straight days in a row, we promise to do it. Noble Gold Investment is your 401k. Maybe it really tries to get people to Jesus Christ. Go to Global No, and they will truly lead you in the right directions relates to those areas. Now, let me tell you what's going on as far as the Middle East is concerned. This is a very disturbing situation here, to say the least. We've got bombs falling everywhere. First of all, I want to thank Billy Night Train, and I want to thank Robert Sims for some very important information coming in about what's going on. Now, there's been, is this a trick? And Billy Night Train's asking the question: Is this a trick? In other words, with Iran trying to creep closer to the northern border of Israel up near the Golan Heights.
And you see how they're saying Iran is trying to creep close to the northern border of the Golan Heights, man. Get the hell out of here. They've been helping with Syria to get Al-Qaeda or whatever it's called, ISIS, up out of there. Okay? And the Golan Heights is not a region owned by the state of Israel, by the way, too. It's not a territory that these gutter rats can just outright claim. They need a reason to say Iran is attacking us. Oh, no. So they can come in here and bomb this area. And you best believe they're not just going to bomb the Golan Heights. That thing's going to stretch all the way up to Damascus, just like the prophecy said. But hey, we love it. We love it. Let's go.
Hamas has lured Israeli Defense Forces troops up next to the border, and they did it by causing a disturbance on the border. When the troops of the Israeli troops went there to find out what was going on, a sniper was laying in the weeds and shot and killed an Israeli Defense Forces captain. Mm-hmm. And it happened just as the 9th of Av began, just as sunset was coming into Jerusalem, and now it's the 9th of Av. Mm-hmm. Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, responded with a heavy hand, very upset, and said, all gloves are off. I'm tired of this. And turned the Israeli Defense Forces, the Israeli Air Force, loose on Gaza. Now, as that's going on, we've got a couple reports here. First of all, and I'm asking, is the blood moon? I'm just going to ask this. Is this blood moon next Friday? We're 7 days away from the longest blood moon of the century over Jerusalem in the Middle East. Is this a prophetic sign of peace or war? Well, it could be the fourth Gaza war. Matter of fact, here's the headlines: Times of Israel, the Israeli.
Boom, you know, and it's a beautiful scripture that the brother Yashua just posted, Mark 15:33. And when the 6th hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour, man. And, you know, that's heavy. That's actually really heavy. That's interesting. You know what I'm saying? So we got this blood moon. You had this darkness. And let's let Big Dog scream and yell and bring it out.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Get ready to catch a plane. But I got a quick announcement. First of all, let me get a shout out to Noble Gold Investments. Again, guys, if you just retired or you just got your 401k or your IRA or just got an inheritance or an insurance settlement, look, get a hold of noblegoldinvestments.com. Christian company, family owned, great people, friends of our ministry. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Now, also, quick shout out to this. Tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern, a powerful live broadcast I'll be doing from the Salvation Station in Indiana. Dr. Irvin Baxter will be my guest. That's right, Dr. Irvin Baxter from End Time. I don't care. Just 2 days before the blood moon.
You see how these heathens, they actually get into worshiping that moon. But we understand that we're in a time of just the Most High bringing his power onto the planet Earth, man. That's what we see it for, man. Hey, Joel chapter 2, verse 10, it says, the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining, and the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, and for his camp is very great, and he is strong, that executed his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? When all holy hell gets ready to be cast upon the planet Earth, man, everybody will know that it was Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua that did it. There's not going to be no more questions. It's not going to be no wondering. Ain't going to be no more atheism or wondering if it was is this evolution? No, we're going to know that it was a heavenly force that made these things happen, man, especially when the chariots come down to this place, okay? It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. We are in a time of absolute chaos, and I'm just touching on a few of the things that's going on as concerning the wars between the Arabs and the state of Israel, the issues of the NATO, Brexit, Germany breaking off from the group in the EU, the issues with Russia. Basically, they're dumping all their dollars, buying up gold. Now they're one of the largest holders of gold, showing you that they're getting ready for some type of economic shift. We already know what's going on with China and those trade wars that's happening there. There's wildfires that's happening all across the planet Earth, in Sweden, in Greece. I heard that there's wildfires in Australia. I don't know if what's going on in California, but we know that the wine is radioactive over there. Hawaii, there's volcanoes erupting, and it just won't stop flowing, like volcanoes flowing like rivers over in those islands. Okay, we can go on and on and on. The propaganda that's being pushed against Iran, more and more, the back and forth of these great nations actually hitting each other in all caps, talking about war on Twitter and shit. Look, we are coming into a time of absolute chaos, Akyam, and we're going to give praise, man. Give all the praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and keep asking for more things to come. Keep asking for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua to increase these things and hasten the downfall of this place and the sealing of the elect, so we can get the hell up out of here, man. Okay? I just wanted to do a live show, do an update, and touch on a few of these things, man. You Akyam that can add on to this, I already, add on to it, man. Add on to it, man, and keep this thing going, man. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you, Akyam, out there pushing, man. Let's keep this thing rocking, man. Shalom.